Welcome guys, it's Aaron and Miss Thomas from Saguaro Culinary. Today we're going to be working on our knife skills. So we got some fruits and veggies to cut. I'm going to show you guys how to do all this. We have our knife, we have our sharpener, cutting board, and we'll go through everything, okay? So first things first, this is our knife. So we really want to work with a really sharp knife, not a dull knife. So if you guys don't know, a sharp knife is easier to work with. I don't have to put as much pressure on the blade, so I'm not at risk of it's slipping and going either direction, so it's much safer. So real quick, this is just how we're gonna sharpen our knife. So this is a honing steel right here. So all we do is just run it, flip it. So you wanna do this at about a 45-degree angle, okay? And then you can sort of just, that's nice and sharp right there. So we're gonna get this out of the way. Okay, so for cutting boards, today I'm gonna use a non-slip mat. Just to make sure my cutting board doesn't go anywhere. So real quick, let me show you guys what happens when this is just on a table. So you see how my cutting board is like loose, it slides everywhere. That's a huge safety hazard. I don't want to cut myself, so I'm gonna use, so you can either use a non-slip mat or you can use just a basic kitchen towel that you wet and lay under this and it'll do the exact same thing. So now my cutting board's not going anywhere, okay? So this is our knife. And first things first, I'm going to show you the proper grip to hold the knife, okay? So, put it in 4 fingers like this. Just hold your knife, keep your thumb out. Take your thumb, put it right there on the blade, so that's the bolster. You want to put it like right on the other side of that, okay? Take your index finger, put it right on the other side of your thumb. So basically you're pinching the knife blade, okay? So that's all you're going to do. You're going to take your rest of your fingers, you're going to come in, and you want to hold it up towards the blade, but keep your fingers safe, okay? So if I hold it like this, like I have no control over the knife. So we want to have absolute control of this, so we're going to keep it right up here, okay? The offhand that we're not cutting with is going to be called my guide hand, okay? And what this is going to do is it's going to actually feed the vegetables to me. I'm just going to use this to get it to my knife. I'm not really going to move my knife too much, okay? So let's start with cutting. So I'm just doing celery today, so we're just going to do a rough chop right now. So you see how the tip of my knife is on the board? So I don't really want to bring it back up. Nice slow motion through, okay? And then just start bringing the celery through. And so guys, with practice, you want this just to be really consistent. You want the knife cuts to be about the same. So if you cut it all weird, like some foods will cook faster than others, you don't want that. So, but basically you just want a nice chop like this. Okay, so we're just going to continue doing the celery and then we'll get into some other things. So this is called a chop. I'll show you guys a dice. So we're just going to keep doing that. And we're going to keep our fingers curled back, okay, away from the blade. So if I get towards the end and I accidentally slip, it's just going to go off my knuckle instead of physically getting one of my fingers. So with this hand, you always want to have your fingers curled back, away, out of danger, basically, okay? So we're just going to keep cutting. Okay, so that's the basic knife chop. Okay, so that's a chop. So let me show you guys. So we're gonna do a potato now. We're gonna get some juliennes. Julienne just means sort of strips or matchstick. So we're gonna cut the ends off the potato. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna trim this into a square. To get nice julienne, you basically want a square. So if you're doing like a bell pepper, basically you cut the top, cut the bottom, cut the side, lay it flat, and you got your square like that. Other vegetables you're going to have to square off yourself. You don't want to cut a lot, you just want a nice little base, okay? So we're going to turn this into a square. Okay, so you see how it's all squared off? Okay, from this point forward, all we're going to do is take our knife and we're going to cut slices down. So I'll show you after I finish this with. Okay, so you see how that's like, see about the thickness? So the slices you make actually depends on the size of your julienne and your dice. If I was to do this basically in half, that'd be a more like big dice. This is gonna be a smaller dice. So we got that. So now all we're gonna do is we're gonna cut this into strips. Okay. So we got our strips. So these are called julienne, okay? And there's many different sizes you can do. You can do like a really like fine julienne. But for you guys, I just want you to practice on just getting this. So we have our matchsticks. We're going to put them all together. And from this point forward, we're just gonna do the same cut we did on the celery, and this is gonna give us a dice, okay? Okay, so that's our dice. So the size of the dice depends on what you're gonna use it for. Like if this was big pieces like this, it would be used for like stews or breakfast potatoes. This is more for sauteing. You know, you normally see this size with onion or carrot to make like a Trinity or mirepoix or something like that. So, but we're just cutting with a potato today. That's what we got going on, okay? So let's do a bigger dice, I guess. So let's just cut that, and then we'll just cut like 2 strips of this, okay? So this is our bigger potato. So you can see the bigger dice. So yeah, I would use this for stews or something along those lines, okay? So that's that. Real quick guys, so if you want to do something fancy, it's really not hard at all. So this is 90 degree to my knife, right? All I want to do is turn this about 45 degrees, but I still want to keep my knife straight like this, and then, so this is actually called cutting on the bias or the diagonal. And so you can actually see, like it sort of comes out like, actually you'll see it better on the carrot. Hold on a second. Or on the celery, I'm sorry. So same thing, we're just gonna turn it. It's hard to see on the potato. Okay, so you see how it like comes out like longer? There's more surface area, so these are actually great for sauteing or for salads, like it just looks a little more visually appealing, but that's called cutting on the bias. It's just cutting the food at a diagonal, okay? So let's see. So let's just do some chopping of carrots real quick so you can see the same way. So we'll cut this one off. So you can see, like it just looks better, I think, than a straight cut. Okay, so I'll show you guys an easy way to cut an onion. So we're gonna take the top, we're gonna take the bottom. Now we're just gonna peel the first layer off. We'll get a prepped onion, basically. Okay, so I know a lot of you guys don't like cutting onions, so I'm just gonna show you an easy way to do it. So a lot of recipes call for diced onion, right? So all we're gonna do is we got a whole onion, just like this, and we're gonna cut strips, not all the way through. Okay, strip. So for a bigger dice, it's gonna be about 4 strips. For a small dice, it'll be like 6 to 8, okay? So another 4. So we just turn the onion 90 degrees, and we're just gonna cut more strips like this. So just be careful of your fingers. And then an easy way to do it, so now you have your strips cut in there, it's called scoring. So we scored our onion, and now we're just gonna chop and see how they just come out in beautiful dices just like that. And that's a super easy way to just dice an onion up real quick. And you can do it through, you can basically score it all the way through to make it go really quick. And then, so that saves you some tears. Okay, so that's our basic knife cuts, guys. So let's do, okay, so let's do something a little more fancy. Okay, so this is gonna be called chiffonade. Normally you use this for basil. Today I got cabbage, so I'm just gonna do it on cabbage. So picture this was basil. So you would take 1 leaf, 2 leaf, 3 leaf, stack them right on top of each other as symmetrical as you possibly can, okay? So, and then we're just gonna start rolling it really tightly. And you will see the reason it's called chiffonade in 2 seconds. Okay, so it's tight, and then we're just gonna start nice slices, okay? Okay. So you see how they come out? So chiffonade actually just means little ribbons. See how they come out like ribbons like that? And this is great for garnish, stuff like that, so that works good. Okay, so we got our ribbons. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is called supreme. We're gonna supreme an orange. So let's take the top, take the bottom. A lot of veggies, you always take the top, take the bottom. It's just how you do it. Okay, so you can see how the orange, where the orange meets the white, we wanna get that apart from each other. So we're gonna take our knife, I'm just gonna run it down through. We're just gonna keep doing that all the way around until there's no white connecting with the orange at all. getting the peels out of your way as you need. Okay, so see how, and then just go and trim whatever you need. So you can see how all the white's off this orange. Okay. So grab your bowl. Okay, so you can see the segments of the orange where the white actually, that would be like if you peeled it off, it'd be like an orange segment. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually cut in between those in a V shape. I'm just gonna get nice little pieces of orange. So this is a good for garnish, just looks pretty. So there's another V. Oh, didn't get that one out of the way. There we go. So those are some basic knife cuts for you guys. Some of these are a little more advanced, but I trust you guys should be able to do it. Just keep watching the video if you have to. Okay guys, so that's knife skills. We're gonna work on this through the next couple of weeks, and good deal. All right guys, see you later.